Okay, and I am here with the final Color Craze combination for this year. Here is the combination that Janet and I have chosen for today. We are also pairing this with Christy's Beautiful Life Day 30's Sketch by Kathy Zuckeruk. I am definitely excited for this layout. I have Vintage Photo Distress ink that I plan on inking using this tiny little blender brush pen. I have no idea why I chose a tiny one, but it still works in the end. From Stampin' Up, I have these resin stars. Down at the bottom are the blue and the red stars. From Yes Please Papercraft, I have this beautiful flare that matches the brown that I'm going to be adding to this layout. And then from Some Assemblage Required, oh my gosh, I am tripping on my words today. I have all of these candies that I want to use on my layout. I am so ecstatic to finally use up all these little candies and whatnot. They're so cute. I have some scrap white pieces of paper that I plan on using for my photo mats, as well as layering on my layout. I have 2 photos of Red's Candy Shop in Virginia City. I have this striped piece of paper that is uber old from Close to My Heart, and this one also came from that same exact collection from Close to My Heart. I only plan on using the light blue though. I don't end up using the stripes. This one here is from Stampin' Up, one of their watercolor collections, I believe from last year. And then from the Paper Rose, I have this beautiful, oh my gosh, swirly red color. And I did not realize that it was this beautiful red on the other side. So I'm going to end up using both sides of this paper because at first I thought it was just going to be the swirls. Yep. And then from my stash, I had this paper, which was like a waffle cone already glued to, it almost looks like it's sprayed with like an iridescent spray. So they were already glued together because the waffle cone was already cut out. I used it for some titles a year or 2 ago. And I think I glued them together because I didn't want that waffle paper getting torn in one of my bins. And so yeah, I'm going to use that as my background. Yep, might as well. What am I saving it for? Okay, so I'm only going to do this once, even though I do off camera end up doing it 4 more times, and I have it on uber super fast mode. But I took one edge of it, inked it, and then I'm going to rip the edge and ink that ripped edge as well. That way I get this really cool, almost toasted look on my paper. I'm trying to only ink the edges and not do the entire strip, because if I wanted the strip to be all the same color, I might as well have used cardstock for this, but I really did not. I wanted it to look like it was a toasted strip of, you know, like the waffle cone look type of deal, or something like that. Well, then I wanted to scuff up the edges because I wanted to have that torn look, and it became white again. So now I have to go through and ink the backside of my scuffed up edge. So that's why it took forever for me to do 4 strips, and I'm only making you guys watch 1. I didn't think you needed to see this 4 times, and like I said, I put it on super speed mode, so that way I could show the whole process but not have to come up with what to talk about through the whole process. Yeah, one of those things. And I have to tell you guys that I absolutely love going into old-time candy shops. You know, the ones that have the big old huge barrels full of candy, and you just dive in and you pull it out and you buy it by the pound or the weight. I love those types of shops. I love the old-time candy. This one has a taffy maker right in the window, so you can watch them make taffy. And then all around the taffy maker are the barrels of the taffy that has been made in the store. It's got wax-filled, they're not toffees, but they're not taffies, but they're caramels. That's what it is. Wax-filled caramels, and you can see right where the person has twisted it right off the stretcher. And I mean, it just, oh my gosh, you guys. And I'm not a huge candy eater, but I'm in love with these types of stores. I just love all the old handiwork and the time that it goes into creating all these good stuff. I just seriously. Okay, so I am creating my my main element on this page, which is the ripped stripes going up and down, just like Kathy has on her sketch. And I left my red uninked. I wanted those to be white and torn and whatnot. And then I'm putting my toasted bits in the middle of them. I feel like this really matches the look of Red's candy shop, because he does have a red theme going on, but his countertops and everything are that really old-timey brown color. Oh my gosh. I don't even, walnut or whatever. I don't even know what color it is. It's just yummy. And it's so inviting. It's so warm looking. I can't even tell you guys the feel that you get when you walk into the candy store. Plus the fact that it is warm because of them making and baking candies, right? Oh yeah, just awesome sauce, you guys. Seriously awesome. There's also another candy store in Virginia City that is nothing but full barrels full of candy and whatnot. And oh my gosh, you guys, like I said, I don't eat much of it, but I definitely love visiting shops and stuff like this. I really do. Okay, I didn't realize I cut this part out, but I took my vintage photo ink pad and just inked up the entire portion of my white cardstock, but I didn't want it solid. I still wanted to have the grainy look to it, like it was a nice old wood grain look to it, because of the fact that if I wanted solid, I should have just used cardstock, right? But I didn't want that. I wanted it to look old feeling. And of course, I'm cutting down the photos so that way I am sharing enough of that photo mat behind to make it worth even being there. So I'm just trimming my photos down a little bit more so that way I had a little bit more of my inked photo mat to play with. And then I'm going to scuff up the edges. And once I scuff up the edges, I'm going to take the edge of my ink pad and just ink those edges up so that way they just look nice and dark and brown. I love that dark fading into light effect that this has for my photos. I feel like it definitely portrays the mood and feel of my photos. And I swear eventually I'm going to get to the blue. I promise. Inside Red, I don't know if it's a him or not, but inside the sign for Red's Candies is a lot of the blue. And then of course they have a soda maker, not a maker, but a soda dispenser in the back that's Pepsi, and so it is blue as well. So that is where the blue came from when I picked these photos to do. So also I'm going to be adding another photo mat behind my photos, and that's where this light blue paper comes into play. And it's going to be about 1/4 of an inch larger than the photos that or the photo mats that I've already created for both of my photos. Just so that way I can add a little bit more blue, even though this isn't on the navy side. I'm not really adding a whole lot of navy to this layout because of the fact that I just felt like it was too dark of a color for my layout. I really wanted all different blues, in all honesty. And there is a little bit, it gets covered up, like right here. There's a little bit of the dark blue in the distressing portion of this lighter blue. But yeah, it mostly gets covered up, to be honest. So I'm just making sure if I like this blue being so much whiter than the photo is. Do I really want that much blue showing? And of course, the answer is yes, I do. Because then I have a spot to fill in the gap with a little cluster right there. So one of the other elements that I really liked about this sketch was the circle elements, the circular little elements. And again, that reminds me of these little lollipops. So I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be perfect, because that's another thing that in Red's Candy Shop, it has those humongo twisted lollipops. And it's like, oh, that is so awesome that people still make those. You guys, I just love this. I love that the candy making art is still around. You know, it's not just all in a manufactured warehouse or whatever it's called, factory. So anyways, took that beautiful watercolory dark blue background and backed every single one of my candy pieces with the blue. And that is where I'm bringing in my so-called navy, is with that blue. And then I'm going to take this Starburst punch by Stampin' Up! And punch out 2. Then I realized I needed 3, in all honesty, to make it look good. But I'm going to use them as bases for my embellishment clusters. So they're gonna be where my embellishments hang out and reside and sit and look pretty and whatnot. So I'm just trying to figure out how they look good on the page. And where do I want them? And, well, once I laid the first couple down, the rest was easy, to be honest. So here's where I figured I needed a third one. And I also went into my label bin and pulled out these shiny black stickers from Stampin' Up's Paper Pumpkin kit that I used to subscribe to. I no longer subscribe to them. And now I'm looking forward to using up all of these extra labels and things that I have acquired from said Paper Pumpkin kits. I have quite a bit of leftovers from them. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue all of these acrylic candies straight to the page. And then as I work around going towards all of the embellishment clusters, I will be adding some more of the shiny banner pieces to this layout. I did also find one little piece of blue that is like that grid paper that's right there above my black glossy stickers and next to my scissors. I found that piece as well. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to incorporate it in the layout yet, but it does add a little bit more of a darker blue to my layout. So it adds one more element for me to my layout, because yeah, I didn't really add a whole lot of blue. I really just wanted to do the reds and browns. In all honesty, and there is some brown in that color palette that I showed at the beginning, and I will show it at the end as well. So I'm going to just go ahead, and I'm holding them down to make sure that everything adheres pretty well before releasing it and then just letting it pop right off the page. And I used glue dots to put the paper to the acrylic. I feel like the glue dots don't, over time, they don't pop off like liquid glue does. And so that is one of the things that I really like about glue dots is they seem to stick really well. Before I glue my acrylic piece down, I realized that I did not add in my shiny little black banners. So this one here is going to get 2, and they are going to come off from the bottom of the page just to add it on. I have no problem mixing browns and blacks at all. I think that I love mixing my neutrals, in all honesty. I just feel like that is a great color palette to work with, is all the neutrals. The cream, the white, the brown, the black, all that stuff. I absolutely love it. I'm going to go ahead and use a foam piece to pop up my Yes Please Paper Crafts flare that I have going on. And then here's where I decided to add this more blue, is just tuck it underneath and add a little bit more to my cluster pieces down at the bottom. I don't think I need to add anything else up at the top. I'm really happy with how those look. And then the last thing that I am going to do for this layout is add my stars to the page. So I've got 2 little acrylic stars that are meant to go inside the square and the round candies, like they're supposed to be decorative wrappings for those candies. But instead I decided to use them as just an embellishment. So that way when I add my blue and white and red stars, I had a little bit more of color to the stars instead of just blue and red. So I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle the blue and red resin stars all over this layout. And I think that that is the perfect final touch for this layout. But one last thing that I am going to do is sprinkle or splatter a little bit of navy color in Heidi Swapp Color Shine. So I happen to have just a little bit left. It wasn't splattering like I wanted it to, and I do kind of end up tapping it just a little bit too hard in some areas, but I get it to do what I want it to do. And then when I went to go and wipe off the splattering from the acrylic, because it would have just made a mess if I put my thumb in it on accident, because it would never dry, I smeared some of them, and so I tried to fix it, but now it's okay. There's where I smeared it. It's all good. So anyways, that is the layout that I have for today for our very last Color Craze combination for this year. I cannot wait to see how Janet does this. I wonder if she goes a little bit more on the blue side and a little less on the red. I'm not really sure, but I had a blast. And I love the fact that I found the perfect photos for this color combination. It just makes me want to create even more and have fun creating because I found the perfect combination. It's just, I love it when it all goes together. Anyways, be sure to check out Galaxy Girl Creations. That's Janet. And her YouTube channel. The link is down below, as well as Christy's Beautiful Life. Thank you, Kathy, for this amazing sketch. I really, really enjoyed playing with it. And down below, I have 2 links for Christy's Beautiful Life. One is the YouTube gals that are all playing along here on YouTube. And then the other one is the Facebook group where everyone is posting their photos within the album of each round that they are playing with. All right. Again, thank you so much, and I will check y'all later. Bye.